Hi everyone, and welcome to another speed build. Today I'm finally, once again, working on this townhouse complex that I started, I think about 2 months ago and haven't done anything with since. So in case you haven't seen that or just need a reminder because it's been so long, I started building this complex that has 4 townhouses, and I'm just going to be doing one video furnishing each of them. So in the first part, I made the whole outside of it, and then I furnished one of the townhouses, and it is the one that's on the opposite side of this one, and I just kind of did a mid-century modern style furnishing for a family. So this one over here, I'm going to be furnishing for an aging actor because in the last part of this whole build project, I asked you all for suggestions on what you wanted to see me do with the other townhomes, and 25th and South said you could furnish one for an aging actor, someone who was a character actor who never became famous, but you recognize them for B movies and commercials. And I thought that was a really cool idea, especially since this is in Del Sol Valley. So I was envisioning someone who was maybe in a series of commercials for a company, or maybe just did one commercial that was really popular and maybe had a few smaller roles on TV shows. You know, someone where you may not know their name, but you're like, oh, it's that person from that commercial. You know, I'm kind of thinking of someone like Flo from the Progressive commercials, because, yeah, I think she did some guest starring roles on TV. So someone like that, you know, maybe not quite that level, but that kind of a thing. I just really thought that was such a cool idea. So I guess this is for someone who is more of a C-list celebrity. And with the look of this house, I wanted to go for something that was bright and colorful and also modern and newly renovated, because I wanted to do something that was different than what I did with the other townhouse, because that one had the same layout as this one, but it was mirrored, so I didn't want it to feel too much of the same. So with this one, I took away all the walls that are around the dining area and the kitchen, because the other one I left very closed off. And it's amazing what a difference that makes. Like, this place just feels so much bigger because of simply getting rid of those walls. And I do have that random column in the middle of the floor there, which I do end up moving, but I did furnish most of the lower level, and I left it there, and then I went back and looked at it, and I was like, wait a minute, why do I just have this random column in the middle of the room like this? Like, my original reasoning for having it there was that a lot of the times when people open up the main level of their house like this, like I've watched my fair share of HD TV shows, as I've talked about in multiple videos, and whenever you watch those, like, the thing that always happens in them is that they're like, oh, I want an open floor plan, and then they're like, okay, well, if you want to do that, you either have to pay $8,000 to have a support beam put up so your second level doesn't fall down, or you have to have a column in the middle of your kitchen or something like that. So just to go with that idea, I wanted to have a column somewhere, and initially I was like, we'll stick it here because this is where the wall joining the kitchen and the dining room, or, you know, the wall, the corner of the dining room would have been, but then, yeah, I was like, wait, it doesn't have to be there, so I ended up keeping it but moving it over to where the island counters are there, and that just looked a whole lot better. But there's still something that I kind of liked about having that column to break up the space a little bit. For the person who lives here, I wanted this to feel fairly nice because it's someone that I see being comfortable. You know, they're not exactly struggling for money, or maybe they are a little bit, I don't know, but, you know, it's not someone who doesn't have any money and they're just kind of scraping by and they're a struggling actor. You know, someone who's made a good bit of money from the success that they've had, but they just don't have the crazy amounts of money that A-list actors do, or even B-list actors do, where they can have these mansions. So they just got a more modestly sized house and tried to make the inside of that house as nice as possible, and they really tried to make something that suited their colorful personality and just love of bright colors, because I was more specifically imagining the owner of this house to be a woman who's in her 40s and is just kind of eccentric. Like, she has this larger-than-life personality. She's someone who's very boisterous. Like, when she comes into a room, she's someone that people just have their attention drawn to. Like, she, like, you know, just is magnetic. And I could also kind of see her maybe having some theater experience, possibly Broadway experience, like smaller roles. Like, maybe someone who, in some, like, niche circles is well known but isn't mainstream. So, like, while she's had some success here and there with maybe commercials and small TV roles, hasn't really broken to the mainstream, and she's still hoping that she's going to get that opportunity. And maybe that's why she's here in Del Sol Valley, because this is supposed to be kind of like LA. She decided to come here from maybe New York, or I guess you could say San Myshuno, and is hoping to break it big out here. I really like the idea of that, and I wanted this place to have a little bit of a feel of fabulousness to go with that. So I did use some stuff from Vintage Glamour stuff here and there, but I didn't use a ton of it. And then I also used stuff from Tiny Living to add modern elements. And right there, just before I switched over to here, I was taking that one plant, like that one floral plant that we got with Dine Out, and was just sizing it down a bunch and putting it into that basket, because I stuck that basket there and I was trying to have this house be one that felt fairly neat and tidy. So I didn't want to just have like clutter in that basket. I wanted to have a plant, but I wanted a plant that felt fresh and modern. And it took me a little bit to find something that would work. Like I was looking through the Debug catalog and trying to find just like the random outdoor plants that I could size up and raise into it. And then I went to the regular plant decoration catalog and was trying to find stuff there. And then I finally, after a lot of trial and error, found that if I size that one down, it actually looks really nice put into that basket. But we're all done with that, so now I'm onto the kitchen. And once again, I was trying to keep the kitchen fairly neat and tidy. So this is a kitchen where there's not a ton of clutter on the counters, and I did use these brightly colored counters from Jungle Adventure. I wasn't really sure at first whether this is a good idea because there's already a lot of colors in here, but I liked it. I feel like it suited. Like, I swapped it out for some more neutral colored cabinets, and it just didn't feel like it went with the rest of the house as well. So I decided to just keep these, and I don't know, I just like the mint green color. Although something I have noticed with these cabinets in the past is that it seems like the upper cabinets match the countertop color rather than the lower cabinet color, because I was trying to find a white cabinet to match the white cabinets that were on the bottom, like that had the same handle color, and I could not. Like, the only white one I could find had a brown handle. So I guess that's a little bit of a quirk with those cabinets. Like, yeah, unlike most counters, they're meant to match the countertop rather than the cabinets. But anyway, that aside, I'm now into the dining room. So once again, I use the tiny living chairs there. We've got the nice brightly colored rug to add a little bit of extra color to the dining room. And then I also made that wall back there the bright blue again, just to once again make things feel a little bit brighter. And I really do like that combination of the white wallpaper with the bright blue. So you'll see me doing that in some other spots throughout this house, and that's just a common theme that I do throughout the rest of the house. So currently we're onto the laundry room. There's not really a lot to this, just kind of your basic laundry room fittings, your washer, your dryer, your ironing rack, or ironing board. I was thinking, ironing rack does not sound right. What is it actually called? I don't know why I blanked on that. But anyway, we're onto the little patio out here, and I was trying out, I wanted to use a different umbrella table than what I used on the other side here, but I just really liked how that bright blue one looked, and that was the exact same one that I used on the other side. So you saw me just going over there and switching the color of that because I really wanted to have the bright blue for this one over here, and I was trying to not use too many of the exact same things between these townhouses. And I found myself starting to do that a few times because it's been 2 months since I worked on that one, so I kind of had forgotten some of what I used. So I had to go through and change some things here and there, so it didn't start to feel like they were too similar. But that is it for the lower level, so now we're on to the upper level. So like the other townhouse that is across that we furnished last time, this one is 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. But since it's just a single sim living here, I furnished 2 of the bedrooms as just other things. So one of them is an office / guest bedroom, and then the other one I furnished as this fabulous walk-in closet. I thought that was something that was just so fitting of this sim, because the bedrooms aren't really that big. So, if you have 3 bedrooms and it's just you, then why not just turn one of them into a really nice, luxurious walk-in closet? So that was something that was a lot of fun to furnish. And then I just did the guest bedroom thing because we had this guest bathroom, so I figured I might as well have that to go with it. But rather than just using a regular old bed out in the middle of the room, I decided to use one of the Murphy beds that we got with Tiny Living. So that way, when there isn't a guest staying there, it's just, a regular old office. You have all the floor space, and then when a guest is staying, that bed comes down, and then they can use that. I just thought that was a really cool idea, and that's also a really nice use for a Murphy bed in addition to just when you're trying to build a tiny house, and I feel like in real life, that would be something that was kind of useful because, you might want a space for guests to sleep that's not a couch, but you don't always want a big old bed just taking up space. But right now I'm on the guest bathroom and there's not really a ton to this. You just got a shower, toilet, bathtub, toilet, sink. And I just used the tiny living set because I am really liking that one. And I was trying to give this bathroom a modern feel without making it feel too stark and futuristic. So I do end up switching it up in a little bit, and I think I do this more towards the end where I change the wall to be just plain white, and I change the color of that sink there to be white, and I also swap out that shower tub combo there for the base game one. Yeah, I'm doing that right now. Yeah, so here's where I'm just kind of adding a little bit more white into this room to make it feel just a little bit more modern. Because I really wanted it to look like the owner renovated that bathroom and modernized a little bit, because the one that's in the other townhouse definitely looks like it's a little bit more dated. And as I said before, that was just a really fun thing about this, to kind of just see the difference within the same floor plan of going for a more modern open look versus the more dated and closed off ones. So here I'm working on the guest bedroom / office, and you can see we've got the Murphy bed over there. I'm just getting the decorations on the desk. And something else that I did was I also added some various trophies and knickknacks to both that bookshelf and another shelf that I added over on the other side, because I had to do some things to show that this is a house for an actor. So as you may have noticed downstairs, I did add some actor-related knickknacks, like above the couch I added that one wall decoration that looks like it was an outfit, I guess, that was worn in a movie or a TV show or something like that. So I'm thinking maybe that's like an outfit that they wore in a guest role or a commercial or something like that, and she got to keep it, so she just keeps it above her couch there. And then we've got more memorabilia from things that she starred in up here, and I also added another one of those wall decorations to this room. But here I'm adding this shelf from Island Living to add stuff onto, because this is just a really nice open shelf for putting whatever you want onto it. And I thought about adding that one mirror back shelf from Get Famous in here, but it just really didn't go with the vibes of this room. And apart from the closet, I didn't want things in this house to feel too high-end and glamorous, but I added some stuff to that shelf that are props from commercials that your Sims do with acting crew and Get Famous. So it's kind of like stuff from commercials that she did, and she brought it home with her to put on the shelf. And then I also added some trophies, and one of them was that flaming toilet one, and there was the annoying air horn one. So I'm kind of seeing one of those as being like a Razzie or something like that. Like she had a role in a really bad B movie and ended up winning a Razzie and just kind of owned it, I guess, and was like, yeah, that was a pretty bad movie, I'll take it, so she just kind of has it there and shows it. And then there are a couple trophies in there that are actually positive ones, like maybe one of them wasn't necessarily like a Tony, but it was something for some kind of play that she was in, or maybe a smaller role that she had, like something from a smaller, lesser well-known award show. Now we're on to the fabulous walk-in closet. So as you can see, we just have a bunch of those shelves all around it. We've got a vanity. I also added that one cart over here because I wanted something against that wall. And I figured we've got plenty of dresser options in this house, so it's fine to block one of those with that rack. So maybe it's like newer stuff that she got that she hasn't quite figured out where to put. But anyway, we're done with that. So now we're on to the bedroom. And once again, I'm kind of continuing that same color theme that we've seen throughout the house in here, and kind of having that mix of modern and glamour with that bed from Vintage Glamour stuff, and then that more modern mirror that's up there. And apart from the bed, I also added a TV into this room, as well as a standing mirror, some plants, and I also added another dresser, which I wasn't really sure about at first because we've got a whole walk-in closet, but I figured even if you have all of that, it can still be handy to just have a dresser in your room for, I don't know, like underwear and socks and all that kind of stuff that you just want to have easily on hand. And if any of you have any other suggestions for how I could furnish the 2 remaining townhouses, then let me know, because the 2 remaining ones are bigger. I think they're going to be 4, possibly 5 bedrooms, probably 4. I'll probably just do 4 bedrooms that are larger than the ones that we have in this house. So yeah, let me know if you have any ideas for that. I was thinking about maybe doing something like a cluttered family home for one of them, and maybe I could make one of them something that's even more modern and fancy than this one is, you know, like something that's more of that sleek white modern kind of a look, but I don't know if that really fits in with this, so maybe I won't do that. But we're now in the last room of this build, so this is the master bathroom, and rather than doing the whole shower tub combo thing that I did in the other bathroom, I just used that one standalone shower that we have and tried to make a fancy shower enclosure, which, as I said before, is a thing that I really like about this just plain, you know, shower that we got. So in here I was trying to make a shelf with what looks like just a soap bar and some shampoo and conditioner on it. So I was trying to take this soap bar and make it look like it was sitting directly on the shelf rather than on the thing that it's on. And then after that, I just found these things that were debug items from Spa Day and added there to look like shampoo and conditioner. And that is about it for the building part of this video. So as usual, actually no, it won't be up for download yet because this whole build isn't finished. Yeah, so it's gonna be up for download whenever I finish the rest of the build, but I will have a fly through of it at the end, so I hope you'll enjoy that.
Crazy Monday, I know it shows that I'm a little nervous.